Hey, it's Brad, Blue Nile Farm. Today we're going to talk about off-road dump trailers, some of their positives, and why I like using the one that I own, and how it's a big benefit to me around the farm. It's definitely a better choice than having an on-road dump trailer when we have to go into different types of conditions. So stay tuned. I'm going to explain to you why you need to get an off-road dump trailer and how it benefits you on the farm. So let me introduce you to a Provost off-road dump trailer. They're a Canadian-made trailer. This is a P516. This trailer is designed to haul 8-ton or 16,000 pounds. I wound up buying it used from somebody that was a commercial landscape designer, and he was doing like commercial ball fields and stadiums work with this, and then he bought a different brand. He did modification to this Provost trailer, because normally where you see these little grooves, he added this section on his trailer to make it actually wider, because he was moving around sand. So normally it's a lot shorter, but it's designed for heavy duty use. So you may not get the volume that you would usually get if you were putting, before he modified it. But even then, if you didn't modify it, these are trailer. They got nice balloon tires. They go roll over the mud very easy. They don't track mud either. And I never had this thing get stuck. And because it works out the hydraulics of the tractor, it's a fast dump. And I'll show you that in action a little bit. So like anything agricultural, make sure you have a set of remotes on your tractor, and they go into one set of remotes. I'm a big stickler. No matter what type of equipment I have, I like to have 2 sets of remotes, but you need at least 1 set to raise and lower this unit. And there's a lot of different units that are on the market, but a lot of people, like I say, they don't never consider it an off-road trailer, but when you're in off-road conditions, you cannot go wrong. And it dumps so much faster with the tractor versus the electric motors that are in the on-road dump trailers that are on the market today. So, but this is the setup here. Now, when you look inside, there's a lot of room in this trailer, and it basically can hold a lot of material. Now, as far as the back door goes, this is not a barn door, meaning it doesn't open off to the side. So it's like a traditional dump trailer that's bottom end dump. So if you're moving dirt, wood chips, manure, anything that's a solid item like rock or sand, this trailer is awesome for it, and it just dumps right out. And it dumps relatively large in a good pile, unlike a traditional dump trailer that's long. You know, normally you have an on-road dump trailer. If you have a 16-foot trailer, you're going to have a 16-foot trail of the material that you dump. This thing dumps pretty good. I mean, for the most part, maybe a little bit shorter than what the size it is in here, but it will dump a larger pile. And it definitely doesn't travel as far as like, the waste. So you can see that this trailer has a pretty good lift. I have a weeping cylinder. I got to get that fixed somehow, but bottom line is it's a twin piston lift. Lifts relatively very high, and again, it's well constructed. You can see the frame. I've had this trailer for at least 10 years, and I bought it used, and I'll tell you what, it's worth every penny for what I paid for it, and I use it religiously to move material. I mean, you can't beat something like this just to get things done, especially if you're starting out and doing a lot of construction type work. I've also used it for firewood. It does a good job too. Anything that's not too long or bulky, because again, the way it dumps out of that door, and it has to be able to fall through. All right, so hopefully you guys can hear me in here. So this is loading up the dump trailer. This is composted manure that I sell on the market, but this just gives you a quick idea of how well this dump trailer holds. Give you an idea how that works. So I make a lot of money to compensate my farm a little bit when I sell manure to gardeners, and I compost it 2 to 3 years. I run different piles, and I have a pretty good demand for it in my area. Because a lot of the gardeners, even though there's a lot of people that have animals, they don't really take the proper care and the management of their manure products. And I really try to rekindle what I have and try to create different income streams. And I got few videos on that if you guys are interested in watching that stuff. But this dump trailer, I'll tell you, was one of my first pieces of equipment that I bought, and it helped me do all kinds of stuff, from driveways to moving dirt, clay, and there's a lot of different, there are a few brands of off-road dump trailers, and they're probably pretty pricey. And you can probably find some of these dump trailers that were dump trucks that were converted into dump trailers, but these are specifically made for, you know, off-road equipment. They're lightweight, they're easy to transport, and I think they're well worth the investment. Now the only downfall with these barn doors that I have on my trailer is that that back door is off a little bit. It's not centered correctly, and it never was when I bought it. So I try not to put too much material to the back because it will fall out that door, and that door is super heavy. So even if I try to lift it, you know, but stuff will eventually push itself out. And I've never had a problem with my off-road dump trailer dumping a heavy load. And it could be topsoil, clay, and it dumps without question. Well, there you have it. Nice load of composted manure. Now we're going to move that over to part where I'm going to dump, and I'll show you how this thing dumps. Now the only thing I do, because that back door, I come back here and I flip the door gate once so the material doesn't fall out as we travel. But this is a pretty fair load of material, and definitely will do what it needs to do as far as loading goes. So I just loaded this thing up with stump grinding material that I wind up getting, and I use that for different applications on my farm. But anyway, just to recap a few things. Number one, that these are nice and low profile. They're easy for any tractor to actually dump into. Number two, you can pull it with even a 35 horsepower tractor as long as you have remotes, because obviously that's going to lift and drop. Third, there's a lot of different companies that are out there with off-road dump trailers, but they are definitely more efficient when you're going off-road on your property. And these tires, because of them being ag flotation tires, they float across the ground. You know, you take one of those other dump trailers that you get that's on road, and they just make a path. They're terrible on grass. If they're not on solid surfaces, they basically are worthless, especially if it's wet. You know, they just sink to Chinatown, and I'm really disappointed with that when I bought mine, because I thought it would have better applications, but it really needs to be on dry ground. But that's another story. And lastly, when I want to talk about one of the problems that I was told when I bought this trailer is that to be careful on tight turns when you have a super heavy load in here. So you got 16 ton on here, and you turn sharp or cut the wheel sharp, and all the pressure goes on the axle. You can blow out one of the hubs. So you got to be really careful of that. And I did do that once, and now I learned my lesson. So I go really gradual on turns when I'm loaded heavy. Other than that, these are great trailers. I think they're a go-to thing to have. It was very beneficial to me. If you can find one used online or on, you know, say Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, look for them, because I tell you, they're great. On the other hand, if you want to buy a new one, go ahead and buy a new one. I'll tell you, they'll last a long time, and you know, if you take care of them, and I think they last, and they're built better than the on-road ones, because you know, my on-road one's rusting. This one's rusting too, but not nearly as fast as the on-road one. So check them out, and I definitely think there'd be a big plus for any farm operation that you have, as long as you're moving material. Moving material, you can't beat this. You know, when the weather conditions are great and sunny and dry, sure, I can haul my dump truck. But when it comes down to wet ground, which is basically actually probably better than 6 months out of the year for me, you know, I need this. And this is my go-to tool, and my tractors rarely will get stuck. Whether you drive them in four-wheel drive or two-wheel drive, you can get through just about anything. Anyway, thanks for watching, and stay safe.